Hi guys, it's SJ. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for popping by. I just got a few minutes and thought I would film the brand new mum tag. So you may have seen this on my good friend Emily Norris's channel. So she has created a brand new mum tag, and a tag is basically like 15 questions that lots of people answer, and they're all about motherhood. So it's a really good way if you have a channel just to people to get to know you and just to go back over motherhood and chat a little bit, and it's always good fun, isn't it? It's basically like coffee shop banter for mums. I've known Emily since, I was thinking about this before I did the video, because when we first met I didn't even have a YouTube channel. I had just started doing some videos for Channel Mum. Emily had just joined Channel Mum, but she had her own channel. She probably had like 1,000 subscribers or something, and we just got on super well. Her boys are the same age as my boys, and then Evelina and Jackson are really close together, which was a godsend because she does the best kind of like routine, practical, helpful, well-researched videos about motherhood, and they're just so helpful. I watched them all and it was brilliant because Evelina was a few months behind Jackson, and yes, thank you Emily for saving my sanity. She's a lovely person, and yes, do head over and listen to her answers to these questions, and do take part yourself. I will be tagging some people at the end, but it's an open tag, anyone can do it, so let's get on with it. The questions are really funny actually. She's like delving into our secrets. So the first question is, what is your favourite mum hack? So a hack is kind of like a little tip or trick. I am so unpractical, like I'm probably the least practical person in the world, so I don't really have any kind of like practical tips or hacks that I do to be organised or anything like that. I just live in a bit of a bubble. But I did have a good one when I was thinking about this, which is for dinner time. So quite often at dinner time I put a secret ingredient into the kids' meals. So say they have a lasagna or a cottage pie or mashed potato, which they didn't like, but when there's a secret ingredient in it, they have to eat up and keep guessing what the secret ingredient is. They get very close, they're not quite right most of the time. They sometimes get it right at the end of dinner. And it's a really fun little dinner time game that also ensures that everything gets eaten because the secret ingredient is so delish. Okay, so the second question is, what's your most embarrassing mum moment? So I'm going to tell you a really embarrassing story, but you have to tell me what you would have done in this situation. So it involves maternity tights. How have you found maternity tights? They were like the bane of my life because I just couldn't get them comfy, perfect ones. So if you know a good place, then pop them in the comments. Obviously I'm not pregnant anymore, but might help someone else out. So I had them over the bump tights, and then they were just too tight one day, and I was rushing off to work. I was working full time, had the 2 boys, I was pregnant with my 3rd baby, and I thought, okay, I'll just wear them under the bump. And then you can imagine what happened. I was walking to school and it was a really busy road, had Finn in the buggy, Fred was walking, I could just feel them going lower and lower, and they just were not, there was just no elastic basically. And I was trying to keep them together with my thighs, and then literally just lit down, like basically to my ankle, down past my skirt, and I was just like by this busy road. It was so funny, and there was loads of mums on the way to school. One mum stopped, and I think she said something like, oh, can I help you? And I was like, no, because how am I going to cope with this situation? Like, I'm next to a main road, there's all the mums on the school run, my tights are just around my ankles, I can't like hitch them up like without showing my knickers. So I don't know what I did. I think I just got behind the buggy and I think I just pulled them up. I think I just bared my pregnant bum to the world, and it was super duper embarrassing. And I had to walk past that mum like every day on the school run, and we just kind of didn't lock eyes for a while. So number 3 is, what part of the day do you love the most? And I think I love the most, maybe like just after bath time when they're all kind of getting ready for bed. Do I? Because the morning is a little bit rushy and it's kind of nice. Weekend mornings is the best. But yeah, just before, when I've just given them a bath and they're all kind of like snuggly, and they can get quite cuddly at that time. They can also get a bit hyper. But part of the day, the next question that I like the least is after dinner. So after I've given the kids dinner, I can never decide whether to like tidy the kitchen, tidy the dining room, and then it's all done by the time I come down, or just to go forget it, leave it all out and just sit and enjoy time with them. And at the moment I kind of do like 50-50, and I used to always just leave the mess. Like, I'm just not bothered about mess, which I think is a blessing. But lately I've just kind of been finding it, I'm more tired in the evening maybe, and I've been tidying up and then not spending that time. So yes, I need to get back to embracing the chaos and just sitting down and enjoying my time with them. Because if I tidy it all up, it does feel nice when I come down, but it's also quite nice time just to snuggle up after dinner and watch something. Question 5 is the worst thing someone said to you when you were pregnant. I had quite a lot of comments on my size during pregnancy, I did, and I found it really annoying and upsetting, and I could cry about it, to be honest, at the time, not now. I think, remember one time at work I was like queuing up and getting some lunch, and it always seems to be when you're eating, as if your size is to do with food, which is not, you're growing a baby. But this girl said to me, is it normal to be that big at this far along in a pregnancy? I was like, well, what would you know? She's not a mum, she's never been pregnant. She's like, yeah, my sister's had a baby and she was only that big, like right at the end. This girl, considering, was about like 5'10". Her sister's probably the same. It's like, we're not all gonna grow bumps in exactly the same way, and you would never compare my body to your sister's in regular life. Like, why randomly would we carry a baby the same? But it was like one of those moments where my, like, you know, your throat like closes up and you're thinking, I just can't eat and I can't even like swallow, and I'm just so upset. And I didn't say anything, and I wish I'd have gone, no, I'm actually a medical marvel, they've never seen a baby who actually produces a bump in a mother before. But obviously at the time I was just like, oh. Question 6 is a baby name you didn't agree on. So Henrik vetoed my all-time favourite name, which was the name Lily for a girl. I really loved it, and before we even got pregnant he was like, didn't like any flower names. Can you imagine? I like Lily or Daisy. And the other name I really liked was the name Winnie, and I sort of said to him, do you like the name Winnie? And he was like, yeah, I do really like it actually. I was like, result, couldn't believe he liked it. But then he says Vinny, because he's Swedish, he says a V. So I was like, gutted, I like can't have it. And he probably didn't like that name, he was probably just being nice, because I was like sat there like, do you like the name Winnie? But yeah, so he says Vinny. So if you marry a Swede, you just got to come to the terms with, you're not going to have a W name, and also they never make cups of tea. Do you co-sleep? Funnily enough, we did co-sleep with Freddie. I think that was a lot to do with the fact that I couldn't breastfeed. I really struggled with breastfeeding, and I loved co-sleeping with him and that skin to skin time. Finn, we didn't. I had a side-by-side cot, and Evelina the same side-by-side cot. Number 8 is something I bought but never used, and that was a breastfeeding pillow. I bought a really expensive one. It was like an IT product. It went all around you. It's lush, support your back, and it was lovely, but I just never used it, because if I was going to breastfeed, it was just like, sit on the sofa, oh, that pillow, you know, I never remembered it, and it was so big it didn't really fit in the lounge, so it went totally unused, and I like begged Henrik for it, and it was really expensive. So yeah, I need to sell it actually, I still got it somewhere. Number 9 is 3 hospital bag must-haves. I never did a what's in my hospital bag video, and I should have done, because I've got some really top tips actually. Number 1, pot noodles. Random. After labour, you want something really warm and like savoury and not nourishing. I know you can get nice ones from Itsu in places now as well, but basically something like noodly that you just have to add hot water to, because they've always got those hot water machines 24 hours. And after I had Finn, the only thing they had was a corned beef sandwich. It's like, nobody wants that, let alone a vegetarian, and everything was closed. It was ridiculous. So yeah, having one of those in your bag is a really good idea. Or a cup of soups, anything like that that's going to be like a meal with hot water. Top tip. Second top tip is definitely just more bottoms than you think you're going to need, because my waters went with Evelina and I'd gone through all my bottoms before I'd even had the baby. And my third one is another really good one. Take your own pillow. How much do you just love your own pillow? And the first time when I had Freddie, I took my own pillow to the hospital, and it was so nice. I just had my head against my own pillow. Then I was in hospital for a couple of nights, and it just felt so lovely and comforting to have my own pillow. I don't think anyone else took their own pillow, but I don't know why. It's really, really, really nice. Question 10 is, are you a routine mum or a go with the flow mum? I am a bit of a routine mum in that I know we have to have breakfast at 7 or I don't get them out the door on time. I know that we have to like have a bath around 6 so that bedtime happens in time. So there's sort of times of the day that I'm like, oh right, this is now happening, otherwise it has a knock-on effect. But in between that, I'm a go with the flow mum. Like, breakfast is at 7, but sometimes they want 2 breakfasts, sometimes they want to do drawing while they're eating. Like, I'm quite chilled. about things like that, but I have like a structure to the day, if that makes sense. So what type of labour did you have? Obviously I've had 3 labours. They were pretty similar. First labour I thought was amazing, and I kept saying, oh god, it was so much fun, I'd love to go and do it again. But it was actually pretty horrific. I think I just like, I luckily had that overwhelming love feeling with Freddie when he was born, which I know doesn't happen to everybody, but I had it like that punch in my chest that I just was like obsessed. But I think that got me over the bad labour because it was bad. I tried to have like a natural water birth, which I did, but I think that it went on for too long, and then I ended up with the stirrups, episiotomy. It was really tough on tooth. Henrik kind of had a bit of a dizzy spell and had to have his own nurse. It was pretty horrific. And the, you know, episiotomy was like my nightmare, but oh, you know, he came out okay, so I was just really grateful because it was a scary moment. Finn's was perfect, absolutely textbook, and we were so calm. I had the hypnobirthing, I got in the water for a few minutes, but then I was like, I think it's slowing me down, got out, laid on my side, the room was all dark, and I pushed him out, and it was wonderful. Such a good experience, and we were so calm, and I felt like I just knew him. I just was like, I just know you, just by heart. I don't know, he just and the midwife was like, you guys are so calm, and we were both just like, yeah, like, it's Finn. I don't know, it's a really weird feeling with Finn. I guess because we had a baby before, first baby, just like, what? And then we were like, yeah. And then Evelina's was really painful. I begged for an epidural. I'd never had an epidural. I still have not had an epidural. And she was back to back, and it was so painful, but I managed to get her out. But yeah, it was super duper painful, just on gas and air. And then they take the gas and air away from you at the end sometimes. So that was a bit of a struggle, but all worth it in the end. And would I do it again? If I had to. Question 12 is, have you ever been mum shamed? So has anyone ever like done something when I was a mum to like criticize me, basically? And I haven't really. I've had a few comments about Finn's speech, because Finn has a speech delay. Not criticizing me, but basically talking about his development around me, or saying like, that your little boy talks gobbledygook, and somebody said that on the bus once, and I just felt this fiercely angry. I just thought, how dare you, like, he's actually got like a speech delay. It just was rude. And yeah, I think you've always just got to be mindful, even though she was just trying to be whatever, you know. And he had eczema, and people commented, someone said to me like, oh, you need to keep him out of the sun more. It's like, he's not got sunburn, he's got eczema. Like, sometimes people just say flippant things, and yeah, just don't comment unless you're going to say something genuinely helpful. Just you never know when a mum's on the edge. Assume they're always on the edge, and then you'll be all right. 13 is the biggest challenge you've had since being a mum. Breastfeeding for me was a huge struggle. I have an oversupply of breast milk. I've had a mastitis like 7 times or something horrific, engorgement. I couldn't manage to breastfeed Freddie at all, and I was devastated about it. And I did a video actually ages ago called Breastfeeding Grief, which I might go back and watch myself, because just to remind myself, it was such a tough time. And also going back to work full time with the boys. I haven't done it with Evelina, which is partly to do with the industry I work in. I work in the ad industry, and it was tough with jobs, you know, it was cutbacks and stuff like that. So it was a good time to opt out, and as well, because it was a lot of pressure on people in the team and things like that as well. So but yeah, going back to work, I always think people say like being a full-time mum is like the hardest job in the world, and I also think that being a working mum is like one of the bravest jobs in the world, because you have to put yourself out there every day, and you have to switch these modes. And it's just, I felt constantly like I was having to push, smile through things, get back home and leave work behind, and smile and be present with the kids, and then put them behind and go and do this work. And it's really compartmentalizing your emotions as well as your life. So yeah, that's very hard if you're a working mum. I totally get it. I think it's tough. 14, the best piece of advice you've ever been given, and the best piece of advice you would give to a new mum. So the best piece of advice I've ever been given was by my best friend when I was struggling with Freddie at school and kind of pushing him and trying to keep him up academically. And she said to me, people go further in life with higher self-esteem and good confidence than they do with straight A's. And I was just like, that is so true. And I totally switched and was just like, built his confidence up focus on all the stuff he's great and talented at rather than like what he was struggling with at school. And yeah, it was the best piece of advice, and she's amazing. And the piece of advice I'd give to a new mum is maybe like read up on like the 4th trimester. Like it's quite a thing now. Like I heard about it when I had Evelina. Didn't really hear about it with Freddie, about this idea that the first 3 months of a baby's life is really the 4th trimester of like, you know, of pregnancy and birth, and it's a very gentle time and you should rest as much as you can. In some cultures they rest the whole time. So yeah, read up on that and enjoy your 4th trimester and don't rush into things. Like even meeting up with NCT people, it's like it can wait 12 weeks. And who is your mum crush and who do you tag is last? So my mum crush, oh my god, it's bad at the moment. I have this huge crush on this amazing YouTuber called Delilah. She has a daughter Eloise, she's in the US, I don't know where actually, and her channel is called Luepke's Life. Luepke's, I always say put an S in there, but I think it's Luepke's Life. I will link it. She's so lovely. You will see why I love her channel when you go over there. Her channel is growing like insane. Like I've been following her for a few months. I watch everything and never comment. So yes, hi Delilah if you're watching. I really love your vlogs. I'm just a bad commenter, I'm a lurker. And she's so lovely. I love her style. She's really vintage and bohemian. She's so natural in front of the camera. I love her editing. It's like really quirky and sweet. It's like watching a bit of an indie movie. Her husband's just been laid off and she's expecting her 2nd baby like any day now. So I would love it if you all went over there also and subscribed to her and followed her, because she's really working hard on her YouTube channel and the quality of her videos is amazing. And you know, she's trying to do that to help support the family a bit now as well. So she would really appreciate it, I'm sure. She's lovely though, and you will be like well happy with me because she's so lovely and genuine. And tell her that I sent you, send her back to my channel. She's like my favourite. She's probably like so young as well. She's a really young mum. And who I'm going to tag is, who am I going to tag? I'm going to tag some other mum crushes of mine. Number 1 is Ebony Day, and I don't know if you guys know Ebony. She is a mummy vlogger. She's got a daughter Daisy who just turned 1, who is ridiculously adorable. And Ebony just, she's like so calm and so warm and so like doting on Daisy. I just love to watch her. And her main other channel is a singing channel. She's got an amazing singing voice, so I just literally love her singing channel. I love her family channel. They're just a really beautiful family to follow. And if you like my videos, I know you'll like Ebony's because she's just so lovely. That's somebody mowing the lawn outside. I'm also going to tag Aziz, my lovely friend Aziz Lorena. Aziz is a Brazilian mum living in Wales. She and I became really close when we both were pregnant with Isabella and Evelina. We're really different in some ways, but we've got the same kind of like sense of humour. We really laugh all the time when we're together. We chat pretty much every day, and she does beautiful videos about mindful motherhood, and I do some talking about like gentle parenting and things like that, which I'm more into, and she's more into the whole package of like you as a mum and all that stuff, and I think you'll really like her as well. So yeah, those are my 2 tags, but if you would like to do this video, then let me know and I'll tag you, of course. And Emily's done an open tag, as I said. Don't forget to go and watch Emily's video and subscribe. And yeah, let me know your embarrassing stories in the comments below. Don't tell anyone mine, because I don't think I've told anyone that before. And I will see you all very soon. I'll see you Friday. Bye guys.